Hey, good morning. My name is Richard Allaway, and I'm here to talk to you briefly for the next 10-15 minutes on getting your content online with Google Sites and Google Drive. As I said, my name's Richard Allaway. I'm a teacher first. I'm a teacher of humanities and IB geography, as well as being a Google Apps certified trainer, and I work out in Geneva. I work in the international school there. What I want to talk about is getting your content online with Google Sites and using Google Drive with that as well. This is just part of the training that I give to our staff in school. At the minute, we are 2 years into being a Google Apps for Education school with the staff, 1 year into being a Google Apps for Education school with the students. So the teacher's a little bit further ahead, but it's a lot of my job as the ICT coordinator there is to reassure the teachers, make them comfortable with the technology so they are far more likely to use the technology with their students, and then I'm happy, the students are happy, and we all move along. So the first question that staff will ask, usually because they're giving up their own time to come and spend some time with me doing some ICT training, is why do I want to do this? We are on a journey within the school to move towards having one-to-one education. We are looking at bringing in more and more devices, possibly get to one-to-one stakes next year. And my selling point to the staff is, because you want to create an online site that you can keep your resources on, that you can send your students to, and it's going to be all about sort of efficiency. It's going to be about making things easier. Now, they all sort of look at me and sort of crazed looks. I'm the one that has the website at school. I'm the one that does all these things. And there is this sort of dark arts mystique about this is going to be a hard thing to do. My big thing is about saying it's not. It's really easy. You're going to have a website within the first 5 minutes of this training session. The other sort of 40 minutes of it is about making it look easy to navigate and have some pretty colors on it. So it's all about making it easy. Now, I can give you a quick example of our use, and because I'm teaching about Google Apps or I'm teaching about using Google Sites, I model that as well in the school. ICT Nations, this is our IT website at school. This is what the teachers see when they log in to school. This is what the students see when they log into the school network. It's got all our important links. You can see our live weather station. It's now 5.3 degrees on the roof of school at the minute. So they're using Google Sites all the time themselves. So actually saying, right, well, you can very quickly move towards doing this yourself is a key part of it. So let's return to that. OK, so this presentation, I'll share it on my Google Plus page later on today if people want to go back and look at it. And you can see some of those. They're just 3 examples of different Google sites that we use and which were set up relatively quickly. As I said, the top one is the school one. The next one is one I use for when I'm teaching Google Earth with students and teachers. And the bottom one is my colleague, my head of department, who I've been there a couple of years. It's taken me a long time to get her online. Once she is now online with her GeoBex website, she's using it all the time. It's a big, big key thing. And she's almost been used as a bit of a benchmark in the school. If I can get Eleanor to get her resources online, then everybody else can do it. Not that that's a negative thing, but it's like, come on, let's get it on. So this is my usual sort of training program when we're using Google Apps, in particular Google Sites. I've tried lots and lots of different ways to access our staff and give them Google training. Some of that is I've tried lunchtimes, I've tried bits of PED days, I've tried 10-minute sort of bite-sized sessions with key members of staff. At the minute, my most successful method is short courses. So 3 after-school sessions, 1 night a week, with a very sort of fixed, this is what you're going to be able to do with it at the end. Attendance of those, because ICT attendance is voluntary at the minute, has been the key successful sort of key way of getting it done. So this is this would take, with the teachers, 3 half-an-hour, 40-minute sessions. The one I want to focus on today is this middle one, looking at working with your documents and putting those onto the site. So that's what we're going to talk about. The first thing I do with the staff is, on our computers at school, we've got a whole range of different browsers. I send them to Google Chrome. Now, not because I'm a big fan of all things Google, it's mainly because then if I say use that menu, it'll be the same across. It's just one of those things just to make your life easier, because the next person will go, No, it doesn't say that on there on the menu. Well, if we're all in Google Chrome, it makes things far more efficient, far more easy. So we're going to create a site. So that's the first thing. We need to show them where Google Sites is. They've all got it. It's all for free. So the easiest way to send them to get access to that is something they're using all the time is their mail. So I say log into your mail. Up at the top, you've got that strip of things. Some of them you use, some of them you don't. So up there is sites. Click on sites. We've got my sites within echoland.ch, which is our school Google Apps domain. And we click that. You create it. You choose your name. You've now got a website. And they're all sort of taken aback, and then there's suddenly all those questions. Who can see it? Who can see it? I don't want the parents to see it. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. So then we need to talk about sort of sharing those sites and doing it. And when I'm working with both teachers and with students with Google Sites, I tend to work on this sort of structure. Create, structure, share. So you're going to create a page. You're going to decide you want a page called Geography. Everybody needs a page called Geography. Then you're going to decide whereabouts in your site that you want it to be. Do you want to be at the top level? Does it need to be under the GCSE subheading? So there's a choice of where you put it. And then the final thing, who do you want to be able to see that page? Is it going to be everybody that accesses your website? Is it going to be completely public? Is it going to be just you, because it's something you're working on, and you'll make that public when it's all ready, colourful, shiny, spell-checked, and all that sort of thing? Once I've done that, and we've got teachers happy to make pages, and they're putting them in the right size, place within the website, then I'll talk to them about navigation. The students need to be able to easily find what you're asking them to go and find. So we look at the horizontal navigation options, we look at sub-pages, that's all dead easy. And then it comes to this key bit, this working with resources and working with the documents. Now, Google Drive is a recent addition, okay? They go, oh, something's changed, the name Drive has changed, what's that? So a part of this education to them and part of the training for the staff is to make them a bit more familiar with what that can do and what that can do for the students. So they'll go in and they've made their web page and they'll see this, oh, there's a big Add Files button. And my first sort of part of the training with them is don't use that one, okay? They also say, oh, I can have a filing cabinet as well. I can just throw files up onto the site. Again, I say, don't use that one, okay? I point out they have purposes, but actually, if you're working with the students, you're working in the resources that you're using, and your resources, one of the reasons to put your resources onto the website is that, well, you're going to tinker it a little bit after you've used it with that class because you'll have found what went well and what didn't go so well, and you're going to use this resource again with that same class next year, so it's all about tinkering. If you are just uploading them with that add files, all you're doing is putting up a snapshot of that file. A year comes by and you need to go back into, you're going to teach that lesson again, you're going to check the resources before the lesson, you're going to click on that file, you're going to have a look at it, you're going to decide you need to change it, you're going to have to download it, you might have to delete it off, you need to go and find it in your Google Drive. So I am starting, or more and more, I'm suggesting to teachers, don't use that add files thing. Instead, you want to be using your Google Drive, okay? And they go, yeah, it used to be called Google Docs. Why is it called Google Drive now? So there's another thing we talk to them about. We talk about Google Drive being what you remember Google Drive to be. That was your Google Docs, Google Presentations, Google Spreadsheets, which the staff at my school are 2 years into using. They're all quite happy with that. But you've also got this storage. You've got 5 gigabytes of storage online. That is a lot of Google spreadsheets. That's a lot of Google Docs. So that space, it's all there for you to use. It's all there to be uploaded. And that stuff that you're uploading can be then very easily brought into your Google site. So going back into Google Sites, there's this insert menu on the top left, and there's a whole plethora of different options you've got. So we talk about the fact that, okay, you've got this document that you want to share with the staff and with the students. So it might be a set of questions. It might be some scaffolding for a piece of written work. So you've produced it on Google Docs. It's on your Google Drive. If you go to Insert, you go to Insert Document, you can very easily and really quite slickly put that file into your Google site. Now, as soon as you do that and you click the buttons and it starts talking about heights and pixels and things, some staff are like, ooh, this looks a bit geeky. And you go, well, let's just don't worry about that. If you're putting up an A4 sheet, 800 pixels, that'll about do. Your width, let's take that away because let's fill the full screen. That's all you really need to worry about. You don't really need to worry about how big a pixel is and all that sort of stuff. Let's just use these defaults, and as things go along, you can play with them later. So you've inserted your document. Here is, there's a PDF, there's a Google Doc that I wrote about using Twitter in the classroom. It's embedded in, it's got a nice scroll bar on the side. Students going straight to your page, which you've directed them to, can see anything else you've added to the page, whether it's a YouTube clip, whether it's some images, whether it is a bit of direction on the page, and they've got the document below. Oh, that looks good. Everybody's quite happy. The next question that tends to come from the teachers is, right, I want the students to use that document. How can they write on it? How can they access it? Now, down at the bottom of the page, I'll come back to my swirly thing in a second. Down at the bottom of the document, there's a link. Open 5 reasons why Twitter in education is important. So there's a link for them to click on. Now, if that document has been shared in the right way, so when you're looking at Google Documents and Google Sites and how to share them, you've, again, got a sort of a sliding scale from everybody can see it to only I can see it. I'm suggesting that to staff to use anybody with this link. So it's going to be, as long as you click on that sort of letterbox, you can go straight to the document you're after. As long as it's done like that, and the access via that link can be viewed, when the students click on that link, so they've highlighted that it's anybody with this link can access it. They've set that to view rather than edit or comment. When the students click on that link, that file, that document will open up for them, and they can't do that much with it. At the minute, it's still in a sort of quite a read-only type state. So if they click on the File menu, they can do various things with it. The easiest thing here is this big Make a Copy. So you've given them this blank scaffolding, you've embedded it into the site, they've clicked on the link, it's popped up there, they click Make a Copy. That opens up in their own Google Apps account. They can then be working on it. They can then share it back with you as ever you want to do it, to get access, to give feedback. And there you go. It is really that simple. And I'm going to stop there, and thank you very much.